evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Durty with your boy. Me. Started this season. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? You were thinking it was going to be just regular ho-hum whatever? Absolutely not. Yesterday we talked about a 0-2. Today we're going to talk about a 2-0 and maybe why, even though some of the issues are related. SimWorld Europe has gotten out to a 2-0 start, and from what I remember from the punditry of my colleagues coming into the season, this is a 50-50 split on surprise versus not that surprised. I think we all felt they were going to be good, but it's the way that they were good that I believe I'm going to say is the tipping point. Europe is doing it in a couple of different ways. One, they're definitely putting up as many, if not more, buckets than their opponents, which talks about time of possession. In one game, however, they shot 45% from the three-point line, or 14. Their opponent shot 1 for 17, or, you guessed it, 5%. Not good. But why did their opponent shoot 5%? Because Europe uses their perimeter D as offset balance. I'm going to explain that. Understanding that you are going to give up mid-range shots at some point in this particular league when teams are able to get on a flow. And there was a big thing about that apparently upset some people because, as my boy Blaze said, some teams needed a Fat Santa to bring him a jump shot. I'm sorry, Mr. Fat Santa, my bad. The one thing that can quickly change a game, regardless of the talent on the floor, are other teams' abilities to take threes. A smaller team from the extended range can sniper shot their way not only into a game, but also take over a game, as well as another team that might have a decent mid-range game. If they can take a few steps back, that long-range games open up the inner side of the floor, which I'm not seeing utilized as much as I thought I would see it get utilized going on this particular season. But I'm sure that's coming. There's too many bigs for it not to be. SimWorld Europe's offset balance D being able to either close out or let fly the long range shot shows an awareness of where your opponent's strength may or may not be. And in doing so, gave themselves in the better position to take over on the defensive side of the ball, starting with the rebound. Europe has always had a great transition game, and their threes, particularly in this one particular game, was or were always opportunistic. It was rarely the three for the three's sake. The ones that were the three for the three's sake were amongst the misses. The ones that were opportunistic, where it was good ball moving into the flow, pull on the defense, get them reacclimated to the balance of the floor, leaving yourself with more strong side than weak side. Then they were able to make those shots. It was nice. If they're able to maintain that, given the speed they have on their team, as well as their general floor ability, they're going to be so hard to handle throughout this particular season. Now, what was interesting is in the other game that was a lot closer, what separated SimWorld Europe from their opponent was their ability to maintain control of possession. And here's what I mean when I say that. Their ability to be able to, everything was really even, including the field goal percentages. SimWorld Europe shot 50%, their opponent shot 49%. Shots were pretty close. 29 of 58, 28 of 57. So everything was really tight. Rebounds were tight. Assists was tight. The difference is when you watch that game, what you see is SimWorld Europe able to maintain balance within their possessions so that they not only utilize the shot clock in a way that leaned the game toward their favor, they took very few rush shots, and their opponent cannot say that. Europe took their shots within a comfortable zone of the shot clock. Yes, there were some coming down to the last 5 seconds, but most of the shots were in the comfortable zone of the shot clock, hence so effective, whereas their opponents were either being forced into bad shots or simply just took bad shots, even though they did make them. But the comfortability in the clock is what took the pressure off going toward the end. As tight as the game was, even going toward the end, you just had a feeling that Europe was going to be able to maintain because they did not feel like they were a race car in the red. They did not feel like they were pressing at any given point, and they did not feel like there was any possession that was out of control. And that's how you maintain, even within a close game. If you can keep yourself in control, whether you're against a superior team or a team that maybe you should be superior to, you're going to be able to maintain yourself throughout the game. And when it comes down to the end, not having that pressure on you, it'll be easier for you to perform. It's going to be great to see how they come out on the other side of this and what happens the rest of the way. But you know what's up. Get you another say.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game, be the
the
game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hello and welcome back to this half of Talkin Durty with your boy. One of the things that I really thought that I would see more of this year, and I'm seeing it from the teams that are in stable coaching relationships, if I use that term, as well as teams that seem to have an identity of how we handle ourselves on the floor when clock management becomes a part of your base principles. To introduce this concept, let's talk about being up or being down. Hence, if we are down, the more we are down, the more points we are down, the quicker in the shot clock I want to get my release, get off a good shot. Because I want to save time. Time is ticking, the time is ticking, the time is ticking, and if we're behind, we need more of it, as much of it as possible. So we want to get our play up, we want to get the ball up court, we want to get our play off, with as much time as left possible, and you can judge that in terms of like how fast it takes you to get the ball up the floor, right? Generally, if I'm behind, I want to get my shot off with double-digit seconds left to go on the shot clock because that's the time I'm saving on the back end. Get a stop, come back and do the same. When I'm up, however, it's the reverse, right? I want to take my shot with the least amount of time available on the shot clock to use up any time that the opponent might have to get back into the game. Now, there are all sorts of formulas and statometric outlines for this, and every coach that I've ever worked with have always had principles about this. I even had a coach that had a thing that he had a chart that we worked off that broke up the seconds into eighths of a second. Realizing only when we played at home did we have a shot clock that showed you the microseconds that happen alongside the shot clock. So when we weren't home, you just had to feel that within the shot and kind of be close. But his attention to detail for that is what helped us in games when we played against an opponent that might should have been maybe superior to what we were in talent. We were able to maintain possession of the ball, taking the air out the ball, giving ourselves more opportunities to shoot than the opponent, forcing them into bad shots. And in doing so, what you do is you offset the balance of possession. So teams can have nearly equal amount of time of possession. But when the shots go off in that possession is what is going to tell you whose possession was effective, whose possession was not. Again, if we're in the lead, the more I'm in the lead, the more time I'm taking off the clock. If we're behind, the faster I want to get my shot off, the faster I want to get back in transition, the more I want to slow the other team up and force them into a bad shot. Base principles. And I'm seeing that with a couple of coaches that are not surprising me. And I thought I would see it more from some other coaches, but also understanding within these first 2 weeks, coaches are learning their squads, coaches are learning their people. There's all sorts of things going on there, and I'm sure they're working it all out. What base principles do you think are important for a team to maintain possession? What base principles do you think are important for a team to be able to win the efficient possession battle that leads to a win? And who's one of the best teams that you see today, college, pro, whatever, that do play the possession game, and though their wins might be ugly, they're still what? Let me hear it. Say it with me one more time. 1, 2, 3, win. Yell at your boy. Holler at your boy. Let's see what's up. Fun weekend. Loving it all. You know what's up, right? It's just going to get better. Tell us what you thought of the games over the last 2 weeks now. What did you think of the surprises and not so surprises? Who do you think is going to flip the script in the upcoming weeks? Who do you think is going to make that difference? Or who do you see that might be that underdog team or player that is developed to a point that we're going to say in a little bit, yeah, there it is. Yell at your boy. You know what's up. Go on and give me a holler. Let's say this was going down, Maestro. You know I want to hear it. Hopefully everybody's good. Hopefully everybody's safe. We'll talk to you real soon. And will somebody please bring me back my left shoe?
Like I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.